Before we get started today, let's take a quick look at our sponsors site, Young LA. As always, love the stuff on here. I'm wearing that t-shirt now in grey. Where is it? You got it in grey? There you go. Boom. And the thing I like about Young LA, as you can see with this kind of stuff here, they've got lots of different styles all on one site. Like, they've just done a Terminator range as a one-off drop, and like, I love the Terminator. But you might not, and if you don't, you might just want to get a sick hoodie for the gym, or you might just want to get some joggers like these. I wear these all the time, by the way. Like, I've got 5 pairs. They fit really nice. They're really comfortable. They're great. And I know there's some women in the audience, and some of you men out there have women in your life, I hope. So if you want to buy for a lucky lady out there, they've got some really cool stuff for the girls. Like I mean, the gym wear for women is just banging, isn't it? It's always better than what the men have. Not that I want to dress up like one, but you get what I mean. It just looks, it looks good on them. And I just pay a compliment without, yeah. Anyway, go to Young LA, 15% off when you use my code TRUE at checkout. Welcome back to the kickoff, and I don't know whether this is going to be a YouTube video or more of a therapy session, because this is probably the most depressed I've felt as a Newcastle fan in a long time. Yeah, in years, fucking years. And it's weird because we're not even playing football, and yet they still find a way to make me feel so depressed. And it's kind of ironic because, like, I was driving to the gym today and I was like, this is really infecting my mood, this, like it's genuinely getting us down. And I'm like, I can't disconnect it all me. I'm fucking so... Oh, God, it's bad. It's so bad. It's so bad, lads. I'm talking about Manzambi's, but like it's not just that. Bruno wanting to leave, like he literally is Mr. Newcastle to me, and it's really sinking in now just how fucked this club is. And like Manzambi represented a little bit of a ray of hope. Like, we've signed a few good young kids. Will they come good? We don't know. There's some promise there in the footage I'm watching. I'm not mad at anything that we're doing, but Manzambi was the one who looked like he was ready to fucking go right now. Like the World Cup performances and the Europa League performances. This looked like a kid who was a potential world beater. I mean, he's got the most goal involvements for a kid under the age of 21 in a World Cup in God knows how many years. And when you watch him, it's like you've got a bit of everything. You could be a fucking superstar. So the thought of getting him in was just a bit of like, just a glimmer of fucking hope that maybe, yeah, we're going to lose a few stars, but maybe we can rebuild. Maybe there's something to enjoy next season. And now I'm like, nah. We lost out to a winger to Brighton. We lost out to a winger to Liverpool. The Liverpool one wasn't that big of a deal for me. To lose out to Brighton, I think that was a wake-up call. I think a lot of people are sweeping that under the carpet as if that never happened. No, we lost out to Brighton. But now again, to lose out to Aston Villa right at the last second after all the talk has been about us and this player. And I knew straight away when it was, oh, I'm going to decide after the World Cup, I'm like, nah, this sounds terrible. He's just waiting for a better option. And the better option arrived. And that better option in Aston Villa has spent 1/10 of what we have in net spend in the same period of time. And yet they are outperforming us in every way. And this is something that when these fucking Eddie Howe Slickers are talking about how great he's been for Newcastle, oh, he's done better than any of the most recent managers. Well, yeah, Rafa Benitez never got 700 million. Steve Bruce didn't get 700 million. Guess what? Steve Bruce had 17 defeats just like Eddie Howe last season, but he didn't get 700 million. And that's the level of underperforming, and that's the level of punishment we're now receiving, because the project looks like it's gone to shit. Because it has gone to shit. But it's not just the fans that are feeling it. Everyone can see it. Why would a young lad like Manzambi, when he can go to a Champions League football club who are consistently now outperforming us, and they won a trophy last year, why would he go to a club whose best players are jumping ship and they lost 17 games of football in the Premier League last year? And again, I hate to have been proven right, but I said last season, we're not just losing out on Champions League, we're losing out on more than that. It's the players we've got and it's the players we want to sign. And too many stupid people who are having a go at me couldn't see that, and now we're dealing with the consequences. And as good as Eddie Howe did for this football club, he's taken us so far backwards after spending so much money. It's criminal, and all the people who know football know that's true. And we can complain about PSR and fucking squad cost ratio, or we've had more than enough money to be further on than where we are right now. And yes, that's holding us back as well, but the manager, our own manager who we're paying, is also holding us back and taking us backwards. And I think part of that's down to the owners as well, because they're accepting of these standards. They're saying 17 defeats is acceptable. After all that big chat from the CEO last season about, well, 7 games left to go, we'll see how we get on. I'm not going to say anything about Eddie Howe's future until that's over. Well, we'll average a point a game for 7 games, relegation form, and you never sack them. So that's acceptable. And now we're again getting hijacked. And I'm like, what's the point? The owners, they came in, they talked the big game, no new stadium, no training ground, limited investment really compared to what we were actually expecting. We expected a hell of a lot more in terms of the sponsorships. I know that there's rules that they need to try and bend, but the fact that we ended up with a sponsorship deal that's actually technically less than what our last deal was, we're supposed to be going up in revenue. We're supposed to be getting more ambitious, and yet the longer they're here, we're now getting outdone by Brighton and Aston Villa, who haven't spent even anywhere near what we've spent. That's just bad club management, that. And despite what some people say about, he's glad he's being proven right, he's glad the club's going to shit, I'm fucking depressed, man. No idea what you lot think of me, some of you fucking idiots. This is fucking depressing, this. And I'm actually like dreading the World Cup ending, because England have been like a break, a holiday from what I'm actually going to have to go back to. Yeah, that must be how the Dan Burn feels right now. Fucking hell, it's great playing with these good players because I've got such shit to go back to. And I bang on about how Eddie should have gone, but even now, who would even come? We've wasted so much time. All the good managers have gone and been snapped up, and we're left with someone who, contrary to what those fucking idiot fucking reporters who are up Eddie's arse have said for fucking however long about, the Big Six would love to have Eddie Howe. None of them gave a fuck about Eddie Howe this summer, and they all went for someone else. His phone didn't even ring. So even if we did get rid of Eddie, would we even be able to replace him with anyone good at this point? We'd probably get hijacked on that. And now we'll go back to scraping the barrel of what's left over in the transfer market, because the reality is, whenever we compete with another club, we lose. And I'm thinking, what are they doing to sell this club? Because whenever there is any competition, we lose. So they mustn't be doing it very well. I guess it kind of comes back to last season, how we're handicapped now, because other teams like Villa, like Brighton, they can say, we've got Champions League football, we've got European football. What can we say? Come and play in the Premier League. And that's why the only people we can seem to be signing is 20-year-old kids who just want to get their opportunity to put themselves in the shop window and use us like Anthony Gordon used us. That's all we're good for anymore. And even then, we're getting beat to signings. And I was talking to my mate the other day, we're like, who's going to be captain when Bruno leaves? Who the fucking hell is the leader in this side? You've got two 35-year-old defenders in Shaw and Byrne, who probably you could give them the captaincy. They shouldn't be playing every game. A captain's supposed to be the number one name on the team sheet. I don't think there's anyone. I think you could give Byrne the captaincy because he's like club captain, and then you're going to need someone who's going to play every game as vice captain, basically. And who else? I'd probably go Miley. I'd say Lewis Miley, because he's a Geordie lad. He's signed on the dotted line for the next 6 years, and maybe it would give him a little bit of a mental boost to be like, you are our guy now. You're the man who has to, on the pitch, drag this team forward, and hopefully that it makes him grow into the person that we want him to become and that we all believe he can become. I just hope he believes it's at Newcastle and he wants to stay here. Fucking hell. But I bet you Eddie Howe is shitting himself next year, because he knows he was piss poor last season, even with good fucking players. Now some of those top players have gone. It's really on him now, because Bruno was bailing him out last season, and he won't be there next season probably. So who's going to bail you out this time? You're going to have to bail yourself out and sort your fucking tactics out. Actually look like you've motivated these lads in your half-time team talks. Actually make substitutions that positively impact the game. Things he failed miserably at all the time last season. Did he get it right occasionally? Of course. A broken clock's right twice a day, isn't it? But he was miles off it last season, and I'm worried about relegation now. I'm actually because yes, we're signing some young talented players. I think that Sean Sturr, the lad from Ajax, looks like he's got bags of technical ability, which is a very un-Eddie Howe like signing. So that clearly is a Ross Wilson led one, and I'm up for that. But he's 18 years old. You can't be fucking putting all the pressure on him. And what we've seen last season from Joe Linton, from Jacob Ramsey, was players who are nowhere near the level most of the time. If we start the season with Joe Willock and Jacob Murphy in the squad, man, you just have to say no one knows what they're doing at that club. And people can say, oh, well, you've got to shift them on. No, you're telling me we couldn't drop the price right down and get them off the fucking books, man. They shouldn't be anywhere near this team. And because of players like that constantly getting games, because Eddie Howe spent too big and didn't raise the floor of this squad, we're now a laughingstock. No one wants to join us. And that's the thing that's really bumming us out, right? It's to me, this club's amazing. That cup final where our fans showed up the way they did, and even Mbappe, they asked him his top three atmospheres he's ever experienced in his career. The lad's played all over. He's one of the best players in the world. He listed Newcastle in his top three, and one of them was the club he plays for, because he's got to lick their arse. So that's how highly this club can be rated. But the atmosphere that we generate, we're human. We need a team that deserves it, that it invigorates the crowd. And last season, that wasn't there. And you know what? The thing I can't understand, for those who do back Eddie, and I get, like, he obviously achieved a great thing in that cup, but how can you not see, like, Bruno on that last game of the season asked to be substituted. He was like, get me off, I'm fucking done. And you could see he just didn't believe in anything. Like, when your club captain is downing tools for that manager, when countless performances looked like the players weren't playing for the manager, 17 defeats. And most people who back Eddie didn't rate Steve Bruce. None of us rated Steve Bruce, and yet Steve Bruce got the same number of defeats, and he didn't spend all that money. How can you be blind to this now? How can you be blind? All his best players wanted to leave this project, and yes, it's not all on Eddie. I don't understand, like, how people can't see what's so clear in front of them. This is a project that is just dying, and it's crying out for the owners to, like, wake the fuck up, because that money that they've invested into this project, yes, it's not as much as what we expected, and we haven't had the stadium, we haven't had the training ground, but they've invested a chunk of money that was more than enough to be in a better position than losing 17 games, finishing 12th. I don't understand why they're not like, what the fuck is going on here? Why they're not bothered? And maybe it's because that level of money is a drop in the ocean to them. But this project is screaming for communication, leadership, drive, and like Ross Wilson, the director of football, obviously he really hasn't spoken much in public, and the CEO has made a couple of interviews where he's claiming we're going right to the very top and by 2030. I feel like when you watch that documentary, that the Amazon one that was made about Newcastle when we were taking over and the transfers were getting done, the way Amanda Staveley specifically communicated with those footballers, the vision for the future, but also she was kind of like a mother to those lads, like the way she would embrace them, the warmth that she had in her character, and the drive and the ambition that it was bleeding out of her. Probably a bad choice of words for a woman, but you know what I mean. She was believable. And that the American guy who's saying we're going to be the best club by 2030, well, all these players are fucking off and you're allowing a manager to lose 17 games. I'm like, who the fuck would believe this? Like, that's the problem in selling this project to these players. It's not believable anymore. The momentum is going, and this is where people going, oh, this has nothing to do with Eddie Howe. You think that players not wanting to join a team that lost 17 games last season, where you're seeing countless failures within the games, conceding 7 goals in the Champions League to Barcelona in a game, losing to Sunderland the game after. That's nothing to do with Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is everything to do. How come when other players go to other clubs, De Zerbi was key in getting Tonali to believe in the project. De Zerbi convinced Fernandes to not shut the door on Spurs when Man United were waiting in the wings, to not do what Sesko did to Newcastle last season, and actually keep his options open to Spurs. What about Iraola making the call to Munoz at the last second to convince him to go to Liverpool? Because at Liverpool, yes, it's a much bigger club and you've got all of the status that they've got, but in Newcastle, for a young lad, what we do have the ability to go is first team football. We're going to grow you into this player and you're actually going to get more opportunity. And all of that. And I'm sure they probably try to say that, but when you're looking at Newcastle as a bigger picture and the level of failure that's been going on, how can Eddie Howe just be absolved of all blame? And apparently Eddie's not even talking to the players and trying to get them to sign, by the way. Ross Wilson's doing the whole thing, and one of the players who came in said, I haven't spoken to the manager yet. De Zerbi is on doing fucking phone calls for hours on end to fucking Tonali, and Iraola is on the phone to Munoz. Eddie Howe's having no contact with our players. That's another thing. I'm like, well, why? Because clearly it makes a difference when you know that the manager who you're going to be playing for day to day is doing everything he can to get you over the line and believes in you. And maybe that was just a one-off for one manager. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. The fact that happened with a player shows it's probably happening with more than one. And ultimately, like I say, it doesn't change what the bigger picture is looking like right now. This club is looking like next season, we're going to be facing relegation. And the hope is that, just like last season, because this is what kept us up, let's be fucking real here, there's going to be enough shit teams below us to keep us up. Because we're not keeping ourselves up. No fucking way. And I know there'll be people out there saying, I'll wait until the end of the window. I'm fucking done waiting, man. This is not going good. The 3 lads we've got so far, good luck to them. But if we're being honest, Stur is 18 years old. You can't ask too much of him. The keeper's not even a first choice goalkeeper, so who the fuck cares, right? Maybe in years to come he'll be great. Fingers crossed. And Toure apparently was about 4th choice on the list. Good luck to him. Hope he's fucking world class. But you get the point. It's not looking good. And the rejection for Brighton, the rejection for Liverpool, and now the rejection for Aston Villa from a 20-year-old kid. It's fucking miserable. And the reason why that one stings the most is because the Manzambi deal was one that, like, I think a lot of Newcastle fans were like, we're actually excited for this one. The other ones we don't know about, yeah, great, you've signed someone, but like, we weren't good, hope we sign him. When we're watching Manzambi in the World Cup, every Newcastle fan was like, hope we fucking get him. Finally, someone to fucking get our hopes up for. Someone to get bums off of seats and fucking make you fucking enjoy a game of football. And what we're actually going to probably end up with is third, fourth, fifth choice again. And what should really open the eyes is last season, yes, we were getting beat by your Man Uniteds, your Arsenals, your Liverpools. Now it's Aston Villas and Brightons. And people talk about the food chain. Well, we're slipping down the food chain. And part of that is because of the Premier League financial rules, which are fucking corrupt as hell. Part of that is down to owners who don't seem to be enthused, don't seem to be hands-on enough. And a lot of it is on Eddie Howe, who spunk 250 million last season after finishing 5th and lost 17 games and then finishing 12th. Massive responsibility on him. But why we now are struggling to sign players who previously you'd have thought would have fucking pulled them off. But that's all I've got to say for the day. Let me know what you think of the Newcastle situation in the comments below, especially if you're a Newcastle fan. Obviously, give me some hope, or just tell me if you're as depressed as I am. I'll let you go. Like the video, subscribe, catch us on the next one.